Hello, welcome everyone to the last part of the movie app playlist. So in the previous part, this is what we did. We built this list of this screen of movie list, also this one as well. So the upcoming and popular movies. And in the previous or the second part, we built the home screen and the view model. And in the first part, we built the data layer. Now in the last part, we will have the details screen, because as you can see, when we click on a movie, then the details screen is empty. We have nothing in there. So we are going to build the details screen. First thing, I can see that we have too much space right here, and I'm going to fix that. Going to the movie item, to text right here, to 26, that's too much. I think it should only be 16. Let's change that and run the app. Now it's better. As you can see, now we're going to build the movies details screen. The first thing we need for the movies details screen is just close these, because we don't need them anymore. Is create a new package for details. And then in this package we'll have presentation, because when you want to extend this app you can have more things, but for now we only have presentation package. And inside this presentation we will start with the view model, which is always what I start with basically. So I call it details view model, and as well the state. So details state, that is a data class. And inside my state, I only have two things. So while is loading, again, to know what we are loading or not. That is a boolean of type, of type boolean, that is false, and then the movie itself that I'm going to show its details. So movie of type movie, and by default that is null in case we don't have any movie, but this should be nullable as well. Put a question mark, so it is nullable. So after the state, I'll go to the view model and annotate this with a health view model, and then we need a constructor extend the view model class, and then inject the constructor. So inject the constructor for Dagger health. Inside my constructor I need the repository, so private var movie repository that I've created in the first part of this playlist. And then I need the state save state handle to get the movie ID, because in my main activity I pass that as an argument, and to get that in the view model I need to create a private var saved state handle. That's how we can get that. Let's create space so you can see better. And then after that I'm going to now get the movie ID. So private var movie ID is equal to my saved state dot get integer, that's an int, and that is called movie ID. Let me just make sure I don't want it to make a mistake in the naming. So movie ID, that's its name. What is the, let me just close everything because it's confusing. So right here it's called movie ID, like that. After that we want to create a state flow for our state, basically private var details state, that is a mutable state flow, and the initial value is our details state, this one. And then we're going to create the one that we're going to expose in our screen. So movie details state, or just details state, that is my details state dot as state flow. And in the init block I'm going to get the movie, or get the movie. Yes, that's what I need. Get the movie, passing the movie ID to it. So movie ID, in case that is null, because it is nullable, I'm going to pass -1. So where am I going to get this movie? If you remember, in the first part in our repository we have a function to just get a movie. We pass an ID which is integer, and then we get that in our database. And of course in our database we created a function to get us a single item movie. Now we're going to create that function, which is private fun get movie, that needs an ID of type int. And of course, since these are the data or IO operations, we need to have this inside the view model scope, a coroutine.launch. Then we need to update our state to tell it that now we are loading something. So it dot copy is loading not is active but is loading, is true. And then our movie repository, did I create that? Oh yeah, no I didn't, that's not the one I need. So movie repository, this is the one I need. Movie repository dot get movie, one movie, passing the ID, and then dot collect latest. We get a result again as just the other view model, and then we check that result. That can be three things: either a success, a failure, or we're still loading. When a result, add the I first need to have brackets to add the remaining branches, add remaining branches. So when an error happens, what we want to do is just stop loading. That's all we need to do right here. Send this to false, and when we are actually still loading, maybe I first need to have brackets like this, then the value of loading is going to be result dot is loading. Now this is what we are interested in. When we successfully get the movie, what we need to do is result, make sure that is null dot data, that is not null, data dot let. So we don't want the movie to be null. So details dot update again, and then it dot copy movie, not movie ID, but movie is our movie. Where is movie? Right here. So that's what we get from the database. And this is it for the view model. I don't use this, so I'm going to do it later. This is it for the view model. Now let's go and create the screen, a new Kotlin cluster file called DetailsScreen. That is a file, and that is a composable function, fun DetailsScreen. So let's see what this function needs. If we go to our main activity, let's close this. In our main activity, we said that our DetailsScreen needs a backstack entry to get the ID. That's, we can just pass the ID itself, but it's, if we want to have more than just one argument, let's just pass this one itself and then get those arguments right here. So we now can uncomment this because we have our screen, we can import it, or maybe it has a different name, I don't know. Oh yes, I'm missing n, that's why. Just need to add an n, and we can now import it. Now we have our screen and we're done with our main activity. So in our screen, how is it going to look like? So our screen, let's open a movie. We'll have this image which is the backdrop image, and then we have the image of the movie or the poster, the title, a rating, a language, the release date, the votes. We can have like many things, but we need to make more API calls. But this is what we get from our API call, and then the overview. This is all we have. If you want to then to just the same as the one that I've created in GitHub, you can find it. I will link it. The original app. You can watch trailers with that, and for that you need to make a different API call to get the videos IDs basically, and then play them using a library to play YouTube videos. But going back to our details screen, what do we need here? We need to create our state or our view model basically first. So details view model is health view model, and that is our details view model, and then we need to create our state. So details state is our view model, or our details view model dot details state dot collect latest, or collect as state, sorry, dot value. So now we have our state. Now we need to load the image. So to load the image, I think it's too much code, but I already wrote it in the movie item. So I'm going to call it back image or backdrop. That's what it's called. Backdrop image state. That's what I'm going to call it. Is remember. Remember assign image painter to in a new line. The model is image request. This is how we load image with quell.builder that needs local context dot current, and then the data, which is the URL. So our movie API, movie API dot image base URL. You know, I'm going to show you what this is. I already showed it in the first part, but I'm going to reshow it, and then I will hide the API key when I edit this video. So I will hide the API key, but this is the base URL. As you can see, it looks different than the base URL of the API. So we have two base URLs basically, one for the image and one for the API itself. So the base URL plus detail state.movie, that is nullable dot backdrop path. So this is the URL of the image, and then the size, which is going to be size.original, and then .build .state. That's how we get the image state. After that, what do we need? What we need to create is a column, because everything is in a column. We first need a modifier for that. So modifier .fill max size, not max width, but fill max size actually. And then we need to make it scrollable. So vertical scroll is, remember, not vertical scroll, but scroll state, like this. Now we need to have the image, but I don't want to write that. It's too much code to write. So if I go to my movie list, presentation, components, as you can see, I already wrote the code that gets me an image with also having a default image if it's for some reason not loaded. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it here, because that's too much code to write. So this is for the first image, which is the backdrop image. Paste it right here and here as well. So when we don't have an image, we have an icon, and the title of that is my details state.movie title. And the size of the, or the height of the image is going to be only 200 dp, and we don't have padding, and also we don't have rounded corners. As you can see, we don't have rounded corners. And the image size, I can have now a modifier. Do I already have? No, I thought I already have a modifier. So size, just modifier dot size is going to be 17.dp, and this is exactly what I missed right here when I said the image was too small. I didn't have a modifier. I'm going to add it right now. And so this is it when we don't have an image. But when we have an image, we don't actually need any dominant color. What we need is to just have an image that fills the max width 20, let's say 20, 220, make it a little bit bigger. We don't have rounded corners, and the painter, just have a comma. The painter is going to be what is it, this one, the image drop image state.painter, and then the title is going to be my details state.movie.title, and then I'll crop that. After the image, after we're done with the image, I'm going to have a spacer, height, say 16.dp, just like a space between this image and this other image. Or this one is actually not going to be an image, but a row that has this image and this other column, this small column there. So a row, import row that needs some modifier, dot height, dot fill max width, not height, and then padding is going to be 16.dp. Inside the row, we're going to have a box for the first image. So box, for the image, not the first image, but for the second image, which is this one, a box. If we turn on light mode, we can see that the corners are a bit rounded, so just to have those rounded corners. And also if we go back, this is the elevation I talked about, the little elevation that we have there. But let's just bring back dark mode, it's cooler, I guess. So in our modifier, we need to have the width, first of all, not the weight, but the width to be 116.dp, and then the height is going to be 214.dp. And then this is it for the box here. It's inside it, we're going to load an image, which means I'm just going to copy this and paste it again. We probably want to have a different state for that, so we'll copy this as well. And this is going to be the poster image. So poster, and here as well, I don't know what it's called. Is it called poster path? Yes. So that's it. So in the second image, poster image state, poster image state, poster here as well. But for the sizes, a bit different. We want to have a height. Maybe we want to have fill max size. Actually, right now, we want to fill the max size. Fill max size. And then we do want to have rounded corners, so clip around the corners 6.dp. We can make it even more, like 8.dp if you want. And that's that for here. And then when we have an image, then we also want to have rounded corners just like this. So put that right here. Let's have even like a greater value, 12. That's possibly better. And then fill the max size again. So fill max size. Actually, this is it for the image, but I need a little bit of a comma. Or no, I need to remove this modifier word. Like this. After the image, let's go to a new line. And then we're going to create this column basically. But first of all, we need to make sure that in case the data is null or the movie is null, then we don't want to have this. So just say details.movie.lit. So if the movie isn't null, then we're going to do show those details basically. So we'll need to add column. That again needs a modifier to fill the max width. So modifier fill max width. Basically this is the modifier that this is the common, just this one that fills this width basically. And then inside there we'll have a text, of course, for the title, and this text is going to be my movie or it dot title basically. But for better naming, I'm just going to say movie like this, and then movie dot title. That is not null because I put lit instead of just every time checking. If it's not null, that's how I'm going to do it. Basically it wouldn't be null anyway, because we make sure that it's not null. But anyway, after that we need in our text, we need to have a font size that is going to be a bit big because this is the title. And let's just put this in a new line. I don't know why it's not formatting in a new line. So font weight actually, so make it a little bit semi-bold like this, and then a modifier at the top here. Modifier dot padding is not that, but padding, which is in the start 16.dp. This is it for this text. We need a spacer now, so a space between the first text and then this row here. So after the text, not after the comma, but after the text, we'll have a spacer. So height is going to be 16.dp. And then we need to create these stars, but I'm not going to write them since I already created them to just save time. If we go here, we have a row that we already has that rating bar and the rating. So I'm just going to paste that right down here. And how is it going to look like? So the stars, that's the size of the stars. What is the stars? 18. Yes, this is the rate, the voting or the rating. So I guess everything else is fine except for this one. We don't have to say fill max size, and we only want padding from the stars. After that, we can just copy this text because we need just a bunch of other text. As you can see, 3 more texts there and other text down here. After the row in which we had that rating bar, we need a spacer first, and we create some space like 12.dp. Oops, not like this, but height actually 12.dp. Put that text. Now the text for language, I guess, I don't remember. Yes, language. So the start again 16dp. So here, how is the text is going to look like? First of all, not just saying the language. We can original language, but we first need to tell what that is, like language dot, I mean English, like that. So the text is first, we're going to first say and then add that later. So we're going to first say language is something, but I need an A here, and then let's put this inside a string resource. So language plus that one that I have. The text size, I'm not going to specify that. I'm just going to leave it default and also not semi-bold. And I guess this is it for this text. I can just copy this one a bunch of more times. So first one, a spacer. Now let's just say 10dp. And this is the release date. So I'm going to create that. I'm going to write that. So release date. Put this in a string resource, and I think I made a mistake with language. If I go here, or I didn't, I needed to create this little space, but I already did. So release date is release date basically. Copy this again, paste it, The last one is the vote count. So now it should be different by just removing this one right here, and then plus what did we say here? Votes. So space and then say votes like this. Put this in a string resource, and this is it for now, these details. After that, we want to create an overview, but the overview will be outside now this box. I mean this row, outside the row, because the row only has this image and these details, but now outside the row, but inside the column, we're going to create an overview. So right here. Now the overview is also going to be just a text that is more likely going to look like the title, because it's going to be in semi-bold. So the title is going to be the text is going to be my details state.movie overview, not the overview itself. That's why this is not what I need to write here. In fact, I need to write overview right here. So yes, I'm going to leave everything else the same, but I'm going to have a spacer actually. Height is going to be, let's say, 32.dp, and then another text for the overview itself. But before that, a little bit of a spacer, height 8.dp, and then make sure that that thing isn't null. Again, the image, the movies, so details.state.movie.let. Now we make sure that it's not null, then we have our text inside it. That is going to be now the overview itself, so it.overview. We get from there, we don't want semi-bold, but instead want to make it a little bit small, like 16.dp. And then last thing is a spacer from the bottom to have some space at the bottom here. I guess this is it. I say, did I call this? I called it, but I didn't get the movie ID itself here. I don't even think I need to get it because I need it in the ViewModel. That's why I don't really need this, because I need it in the ViewModel. So if I go to the main activity in which I pass that, I don't actually need to pass it since I need it in the ViewModel. It's just run the app and see. We get an error. Let's see what the error is and fix that error. Here we have this import. Let's remove that. Hopefully the app works as expected. So it's running when we click on a movie. Oops, I have a problem right here. Let's fix that. So going to the details screen. Now inside my row I have a box that has the image, but that's the mistake. I need to put a bracket right here and then remove it from here. You know why? Because I put those details inside the row, which is wrong. I need to have them inside the row, but not inside the box. Now that's what I'm doing. So let's try again, and yes, as we can see, we have them now outside here. So this is how the app looks like. And of course, hopefully we find a movie with no image. All these movies seems to have images. I'm just trying to get a movie with no image and see. Yes, so this is now, if a movie is like new or there is no data for that movie, then we can just display these things, an empty image or whatever you want to call it, no image, 00 if we don't have anything. And also right here, maybe Quail fails to load the image for some reason, that's why we have it like this. So this is it now for this entire playlist. This is it for this video. We built this movie app from scratch, and we used everything we need to have a solid app from caching. And actually, one thing I didn't test is, in fact, it wouldn't even work if we don't get those movies from the database. Let's turn off internet connection, and we still have movies without internet. When we click, we still have the details. So also the upcoming movies, we have them as well. So this is it for this video in this playlist. We built this movie app from scratch. Your homework is to extend this app and make it the same as the one I will link on the description. You find it on GitHub. Add more features, add a TV series, add like a lot of more things you can add, like watching trailers and like the related or similar movies. You can have a lot of things with that API. So this is it now for this playlist. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. See you in a new video, and bye.